TV, truth, the people's media.
Very good evening and welcome to TPM Television. Wherever you are tuning in, you are just right in time for the evening prime news at 9. My name is Colin Simito. Tonight, we begin with a third shocking story whereby fear and grief have taken hold of families in Kaunguni village, Waita Ward, Mwingi Central in Machakos County, following the brutal killing of a 70-year-old Joseph Mwendwa in a violent confrontation linked to hand harvesting. Days after the attack, the victim's family says they are not only struggling to come to terms with his death, but are also living in fear, claiming those responsible are still roaming freely in the area. Other families affected by the incident say they feel unsafe and abandon, accusing authorities of failing to respond in time to prevent the tragedy. Joseph Mwendwa was allegedly hacked to death as he and other residents protested what they described as rampant sand scooping along local rivers where the community depends on for water for livestock and domestic use. As tension remains high and calls for justice, questions are now being raised about security, environmental protection and enforcement gaps in the fight against illegal sand harvesting.
Kabisa sijasikia kama kuna hatua zozote, na tumejaribu kuwatafuta sana, lakini wale tunapata sana wenye wanaongea mambo hii na ile ingine ni hao watu wa siasa. Mambo ya mtu ati hatujasikia, ati polisi wamesema nini, uchunguzi DCI, hiyo kitu hatujasikia. Ile kitu tunaomba, kwa sababu hata wenye tulikuwa napigana nao pale bado ni majirani wetu, na nimesikia kwamba vile tunawaongopa hata wao wenyewe wanatuongopa vile, na saa hii huenda wengi wanalala kwa msitu kwa sababu hawajui wenye wakimbiza wakawachapa wako namna gani. Kwa hivyo ile kitu nataka serikali ingililie kwa haraka, wahakikishe ya kwamba sisi wote tumerudi kuwa na amani, kwa sababu sioni ile distance kutoka hapa mpaka pale sio ni refu sana, less than 5 kilometers uko kwa hao maadui wetu, na sio mzuri. Na istoshe mimi mwenyewe nafanya kazi Nairobi. Kutoka Nairobi most of the time natokanga saa 11, saa 12. Kwa hivyo napika pale kwao saa 4, saa 5. Sasa unajua kutoka saa hii kwenda mbele, unless serikali ingilie, sitaweza kutoka huko usiku. Manake naongopa naweza chapa nikiwa hapa katikati kabla sijavuka mto. Kwa hivyo mambo iko hivyo.
In other news, the Nairobi Member of Parliament who support the cooperation between the government and the UDA party have spoken today about the signing of a cooperation agreement between the national government and the Nairobi City County government. This development comes amid a standoff over the agreement signed between the national government and the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja concerning the transfer of certain county functions to be carried out by the national government.
It behoves everyone in Parliament to carry out that function of oversight. So the funds, and this is the reason of that intergovernmental agreement, the funds that will come under the purview of the Exchequer will be oversighted by the National Assembly. The funds that will come under the purview of the Senate and operational issues will be oversighted by the Senate, because as you know that the Senate is given a mandate of dealing with issues concerning counties in devolution. So there is no prevarication in this issue. It is very clear, and oversight is important. Let me tell you, you have traveled across the world. You go to New York, you go to the major metropolis. There is no metropolis which runs on its own without the support of the central and the executive. We have tried this for, say, 13 years now going, since the Constitution was enacted. And you can be sure the beginning, when we began the constitution, we said that all these counties, the 47 counties, will run as they were. But the cities, Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, you know that they demonstrate differences in terms of how they can, and it's a melting point. Everybody's here from all sides. So yes, there is the grant by which the county runs, but there must be a structural and operational support by the national government. So it has been thought.
We switch gears to another different story where the Machakos County Governor Wamvinya Ndeti, together with the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture Mutahi Kagwe, have launched an animal feed production project in the Athi River area, Machakos County, accompanied by the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Livestock, Jonathan Mweke. They explained that the initiative will create 250 jobs up from the current 80 positions, benefiting the youth of the county. The three leaders also play that the move will help to ensure sufficient production of animal feeds.
I have a lot of industries here, but my biggest problem here and what the industries are complaining about is about the cost of energy. We need to work on bringing the cost of energy down so that if the cost of energy goes down, at least the owners of the industry can sell their products at a lower price to our people.
We are doing a number of things that are going to ensure the reduction in production in livestock production cost and milk production cost by reducing the cost of feeds. To reduce the cost of feeds, we need to bring the electricity cost down so that factories like these ones can operate at more efficient or can operate more efficiently and therefore be able to sell their feeds more cheaply.
I have a lot of industries here, but my biggest problem here and what the industries are complaining about is about the cost of energy. We need to work on bringing the cost of energy down so that if the cost of energy goes down, at least the owners of the industry can sell their products at a lower price to our people.
We are doing a number of things that are going to ensure the reduction in production in livestock production cost and milk production cost by reducing the cost of feeds. To reduce the cost of feeds, we need to bring the electricity cost down.
President William Ruto has described members of county assemblies known as MCAs as key partners in the national development agenda and an important link between citizens' expectations and policies formulated at the national level. During the annual County Assemblies Conference, the President met with the ward representative and stated that through their cooperation, Kenya's economy will grow stronger in the coming years. He noted that the country's reliance on loans from developed nations has been a persistent challenge that must be addressed.
Listen, the reason why we roam capitals of other countries to go borrow money is because we have refused to save our own money. The money we are going to borrow from China is the savings of the Chinese people. Their saving is 55% of their GDP. Our saving is 12% of our GDP. That's the difference. So we go borrow from the Chinese, tunakuja tunafanyia kazi hapa, halafu we have to pay with interest. Last year I went to China twice. To do what? To negotiate. No. To go negotiate sasa bwana mkubwa. Unaona sasa hii deni iko kubwa sana. We are paying $1 billion every year. So we couldn't find space to do any road or to do anything. So we went to tell them, hii deni punguza kidogo inatuumiza. So forget about what you see huko. Nakuta huko iko parade kubwa. Askari wanapita huko, tumesimama hapo. Unafikiri it is pomp and color. Hiyo parade kiisha, ukiingia ndani hapo, mlango ikifungwa, unaanza kuambia ule mtu tafadhali bwana. Why would you subject your president who doing those things when we can save our own money? Look, I must tell you this because you're leaders in Kenya. Uganda, which is half our economy, has a bigger social security fund than us. Tanzania here, 60% of our economy, has a bigger social security fund than us because they made the right decisions early. Sisi tuko hapo. You know? But I want to promise you, things are going to change. If we continue the same way we are continuing, I am very confident in 10, 15 years, we will not be borrowing any money from any country. We will be using our own resources, and if we need to borrow, we will be borrowing from our own savings to be able to drive our development.
In another news, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, Kipchumba Murkomen, has accused party leader for DCP Rigathi Gachagua of sending former police officers to political meetings, claiming they are being used to incite unrest through the security networks. He went on to state that the nation needs leaders who speak with integrity. The CS urged leaders to conduct their political gatherings peacefully, emphasizing that incitement will not be tolerated, especially as the country heads into the campaign season.
Lakini kuna watu wengine tunajua walienda hata kuipa mbuzi ya former president, alafu saa hizi wanaongelesha nani kuhusu nini. If we were to bring their files, they cannot stand the test of leadership. So we want leaders who can speak to this nation from a point of integrity. And we will assess your past before you can tuambie lecture. Mimi, tangu nianze siasa, 2013, huwezi pata mimi anywhere penye nime incite community against community. Never. Never. Or to speak about somebody's tribe. Never. Maybe because of how I have been brought up kama kijana ya pasta. Na vile mambo ingine yote. Wacha kutembea na goons. Wacha kuenda kutafuta sijui askari nini. Nasikia wengine wanaenda kutafuta former police officers. Ati wakuje, halafu kidogo kidogo tumia those networks, wanabebana na tear gas kwa mikutano yenye wanaenda na tear gas. The Inspector General is going to be ruthless on those people because we are not going to. Kama wewe unaenda mkutano Nakuru, si uende uongeleshe watu ya Nakuru. Kama ni Naivasha, uongeleshe wa Naivasha. Why are you carrying people from Nairobi, Jabini, sijui unaenda kutoa watu na Nyuki? Si uongeleshe wa hapo, make your case, wakikupenda, ukuchakue, and then we move together mbele. Tuko pamoja hivyo? Kwa hivyo mimi nawaomba, incitement, especially as we go to the elections, will not be entertained. We will take our action. Wacha kotini waachilie hawa. Lakini from a security perspective, we will do our part. We will present them to court. If CJ Martha Koome and the judiciary want to entertain them and release them and call it freedom of expression, they will release them. We will arrest again. We will take them there. They will be releasing. When the file of Kenya is opened, if anything happens in Kenya and you trace the history, nobody will blame IG Kanja, nobody will blame CS Murkomen, nobody will blame the executive, because we will do our part to make sure that enforcement is done in this country when it comes to law and order.
Elsewhere, the tradesmen under the Entertainment, Hotel and Restaurants Association are asking the Senate to stop further proceedings on the complex tobacco bill to allow for wider consultations. This follows strong opposition from tradesmen through the country who want some of the articles contained in the bill to be reviewed. Balta Secretary General Boniface Gachoka is condemning the Senate for allegedly failing to consult the public on the bill, a situation that is raising major complaints.
Lakini kuna watu wengine tunajua walienda hata kuipa mbuzi.
Tobacco Amendment Bill, sisi tuna support regulation. Sisi tuna support capturing of the new products, which is nicotine pouches and the new products that have come. Lakini one of the things ambayo tuko na shida nayo sana ni ya kwamba ilipitia through public participation that we were not involved. Ilipitia through insufficient public participation that was only done in the Senate. Na tukauliza hivi, I think spirit ya public participation ni watu wakuje, maoni ya kila mtu ihusishwe. So kile ambacho tumeona na hii bill ni ya kwamba ni kama hawataki maoni yetu. Kitu ya kwanza, hii kitu imekuja ikaleta leseni mpya. Kama tungekaa chini tuongeleshane, hiyo ni kitu ambayo tungeangalia. Hii kitu imekuja sasa juzi wamesema wameondoa flavors. Swali yangu ni hii, why are you fearing flavors? Tunachukua flavors from pombe, from sweets, from tea. Flavors is the way of life. Why are you banning flavors? Hizi products mpya ambazo zimekuja zinasaidia mtu ambaye anavuta sigara ili maafa ya kuvuta sigara ipungue. Na ndio wameondoa moto, wameondoa moshi, umeona, na wameondoa magonjwa mingi. Tumeona ukiangalia zile jurisdictions zingine kama Uganda, ukiangalia mahali kama Bhutan, ukiangalia mahali kama Nigeria, wakati hizi products, hata South Africa, in fact that is the recent casualties, wakati hizi products zilikuwa banned, zilileta a major criminal enterprise ambaye in one of the engagement inaitwa Gold Rush imechange mpaka ikaribu economy za countries. Saa hizi vile tunaongea 60% ya pombe ambayo inauzwa ni mbaya, ni counterfeit na illicit. 40% ya sigara ambayo inauzwa ni counterfeit and illicit. When we come up with regulations ambazo hatutaki kusikiza stakeholders, hatutaki kusikiza wanabiashara wa starehe ambao si ndio tuko karibu na customers, tukuja na regulation, hii ni mpango ya kutaka kuongezea ile illicit percentage iende juu. Ombi langu ni hii, we are calling on the Senate and we are many and we are not joking. We want that bill to be stopped. Let us have a negotiated document that we are going to agree. Let us involve all the stakeholders. Saizi mtu yote mwenye anaeka bar akona license 10, 11. You want to add another one and another one. That is something that will not agree. We are not opposing regulation, but what we are calling for is regulation with purpose, regulation with reason, regulation that takes the opinion of us, because we are also Kenyans. So the major thing yenye tunasema that is of concern that we've done our research is, one, ban of flavors is something that we will not accept. We have no intention whatsoever of going to court. But if this bill passes the way it is, without taking our opinion, that will be a major way and a major route that you are going to pass through.
From that story of the tradesman who wants the tobacco bill to be stopped marks the end of our bulletins tonight. See you tomorrow. My name is Colin Simito. Have a good night.
You're watching TPM TV. Truth, the people's